हेलो फ्रेंड्स। आई होप आप सभी लोग अच्छे होंगे। इंडियन फैंस के लिए आज का दिन बहुत ख़ास नहीं रहा। आई मीन इट वाज मोर काइंड ऑफ अ रोलर कोस्टर राइड आफ्टर गेटिंग हैमर्ड yesterday. आज इंडियन bowlers they made a good comeback and from 326 for 3 um, Australia was restricted to 469 all out. So around 140-150 runs में उन्होंने बाकी विकेट्स गिर गई. But India batting again struggled. So we are going to discuss about it, exactly what happened on second day, what could have been done, what are the pain points of India, and what they can do for rest of the days. So before I start this video, once again a humble request, please subscribe to my channel. आप मेरे वीडियो को प्लीज़ देखिए, उसे लाइक कीजिए, अपने कमेंट्स दीजिए, अपनी फीडबैक दीजिए. एंड आप अगर मेरे चैनल पर पहली बार आए हैं तो अपनी बाकी वीडियोस भी देख सकते हैं, उस पर भी अपने लाइक कमेंट्स दे सकते हैं. प्लीज़ ये एक न्यू चैनल है, मैंने कुछ महीने पहले स्टार्ट किया है. एंड एवरी न्यू person who subscribe to my channel is it's really very motivating for me to keep on continuing doing this. So a humble request, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. So let's get started. So अगर हम आज के दिन की बात करें, so start काफ़ी अच्छी रही. Although in first half an hour Indian bowlers were hammered, especially by Travis Head. Steve Smith, he scored another magnificent century. But Siraj, he started the downfall, and surprisingly that was a short pitch ball which brought the result. Travis had definitely he was very fortunate in this test match. कम से कम भी 10 या 12 बार वो आउट होते होते बचे. एज लगती थी बट बॉल ऐसी जगह गई थी जहाँ कोई फील्डर नहीं. आज भी 2 बार ऐसे हुआ. एक बार एज लग के he was saved, he was not bowled, and another time edge लगा लेकिन वहाँ कोई फील्डर नहीं था मिड विकेट पे. But finally Siraj was able to use the same weapon and got the success. But the biggest challenge was and the biggest I would say step to restrict Australia was Steve Smith's wicket. And we all know Shardul Thakur, he has this knack of taking wickets when no one expects him. So आज भी वही हुआ. It was very harmless delivery, but somehow Steve Smith made the mistake and he was bowled. Some good low order hitting by Alex Carey showed that Australia is not restricted below 400, and they scored around 469. Talking about Indian batting, it started at a very positive note. Both Shubman Gill and Rohit they were pretty positive. Surprisingly, both Cummins and Stark, they started bowling short against both the players, and we all know both Rohit and Shubman, they are pretty good player of short balls. As a result, India were scoring with the rate of 6 runs per over for 6 overs. But जैसे ही फर्स्ट बॉलिंग चेंज हुआ, स्कॉट बोर्डलैंड है, he has this knack of bowling at the same place at a very long time. So he just bowled wicket to wicket, थोड़ा बहुत एंगल बना के, and he started putting pressure. As a result, Rohit Sharma, he was LBW, he was plumb. And then Scott Bourne got the prize wicket of Shubman Gill. Again an error in judgment. He was not able to play. I mean, he should have played that ball, but he left it and he was bowled. More shockingly, after a lunch, India lost Pujara, who was going to be the mainstay of Indian batting, and without Kohli. And the struggle was there. India was tottering at 70-64, 74 for 4. But some good sensible batting by Rahane and Jadeja took India above 100. Just before end of the day play, Lyon got the wicket of Jadeja before he can score a half century. So yeah, it is going to be a steep target, a steep way for India. Rahane, Bharat, Shardul Thakur, these three are decent enough batsmen, and their first target should be to avoid fall on, and then take it from there. Um, but if you talk about what went wrong, um, definitely if you look at the pitch, I will not say और ये it will be an excuse अगर मैं इस चीज़ पर हम लोग ये बात करें कि how when Australia was batting pitch was good and how when India started batting pitch started behaving awkwardly. um, pitch इतना कोई difference नहीं था. Definitely it was not playing not like the way it played yesterday in the third session, but it was not you know a minefield. But yes, if I talk about Indian batting, especially top order, I don't remember in last 3 or 4 years when was the last time, especially in overseas test match, when we got a decent inning from all the top four players. अगर आप चेतेश्वर पुजारा, विराट कोहली, इन दोनों की एवरेज देखें, so they are really struggling very badly in last 2 years, last 2-3 years. I mean, their average is around 30-32, which is really shocking for any test team. Uh, I mean, whatever we want to say and how much we want to defend both Pujara and Kohli, I can give you a lot of things, but it cannot be denied that both of them are now struggling in test match, and Indian think tank has to take that decision. They have to move. It's pretty simple. Just because someone is pretty good and very selfless and wants to play for the team, that's not something which should ensure that he can keep on playing for Indian team. He has to perform, and Pujara perform nahi kar pa rahe. He is really struggling. So that is again, selectors have to take that hard decision. Of course, अभी ऐसा नहीं है कि match is over. There's still a lot of cricket to be played, and there are a lot of instances जब over में in the first inning teams have struggled, but in second inning they have they just went ahead and won the test match. So it's not that everything is over. There are a lot of things to play upon. Remember, it's a final, and you have to fight it out. There is no other way. You have to fight it out. But yes, India has to think about their top order. Shubman Gill can get a benefit of doubt because he's pretty new, and okay, he got out in this inning. But Rohit Sharma, Kohli, Pujara, they are pretty senior players. Rohit Sharma as well. He played amazingly well till last year. But this is not the way India expected their top order to crumble. I know बहुत सारे लोग अब IPL को गाली देंगे फिर से because of IPL Indian players were not able to practice and perform. So what happened to Cheteshwar Pujara? वो तो IPL नहीं खेले थे. वो तो he spent last 2 months in county cricket playing test cricket in fact, and making centuries just for fun. I believe 4-5 centuries वो मार चुके हैं already county cricket में इस साल. उनको क्या हुआ? Why he struggled? So this is all mindset. Okay. But yes, to be very frank, India should have played inter-team practice match. I really don't understand why BCCI took it so lightly, considering that it was a World Test Championship final. They should have arranged a practice game. If England was not not helping and not giving any practice match, they might have played a practice match between all the Indian players. Although there were 15 players, they could have sent 10 more players and it could have been 2 teams and they could have played. Because आप कितनी भी net practice करो, you cannot replicate the match situation. कैसे ball आएगी, कैसे swing होगी. So that was a huge mistake. Again, I have high hopes with the remaining Indian batsmen. I hope that at least they will go ahead and they will score a decent enough run. First inning lead को जितना कम कर सकें उतना better है. I mean, expecting them to cross 469 is a very is a very big ask, and it is almost impossible for them. But yes, closing the gap as much as possible is the way around that India has to go ahead and do. Second thing, again, and a lot of discussions has happened on this. When yesterday Indian bowlers were struggling, Rohit Sharma was not at all able to handle them, and everyone was remembering without Kohli. He was a guy who used to motivate bowlers in difficult conditions. He used to get crowd behind players. He was pretty aggressive. He was very involved. That kind of captaincy was missing. Without Kohli as a captain and Ravi Shastri as a coach, they created a very strong team which were fearless. They would never lose hope. They just go ahead and they just they play only to win. That was their aim. And the roles of both these players are these two positions are very important. Captain is required to motivate the team. जब वो फील्ड पे अच्छा नहीं कर पा रहे, बॉलर्स को मोटिवेट करना, डिफरेंट फील्डिंग्स लगाना, just make sure that bowler is not losing hope, crowd को बैकअप करना. I mean all those tactics विराट कोहली ने बहुत अमेजिंगली प्ले किया है, and that's the reason India has some fabulous win overseas in last 3 or 4 years. And it is not wrong to say that because of Virat Kohli captaincy, India is playing this World Test Championship Finals. Second position is of coach Ravi Shastri. So when Indian team is batting, so coach makes sure that players who are yet to come, they are motivated, they are charged up to go ahead and take the command. That was missing as well. So definitely it's now a high time as far as Rahul Dravid is concerned. He is not at all able to deliver results. I mean, winning a series against Bangladesh and winning a ODI series against Sri Lanka is not something which Indian fans want from a coach like Rahul Dravid. I believe that he needs to be a bit aggressive. Players are taking things very lightly currently. Again, I'm not losing hope. I'm still hopeful that maybe something these players will do, and we might win the match. But even whatever happens, it is not going to it cannot cover what mess currently Indian team is in, especially in testing. They have to go ahead and they have to figure it out. If needed, they have to get few players out of the team, bring the fresh blood, bring the youngsters who can take responsibilities. Winning test matches overseas is not an easy task. You need players who are motivated enough, who can grind, who can fight it out. And currently, Indian top order is really struggling. So that's all for today. Once again, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be back tomorrow to analyze day 3 of World Test Championship Finals. Thank you and good night.